The purpose of this video manual is to walk through the key steps necessary to be prepared to conduct a PNOE test. It is necessary that your testing subjects adhere to the following prerequisites before a test is performed on them. They need to be in a fasted state and have not consumed stimulants for at least 3 hours before the time of the test. They should not partake in intense exercise 24 hours before the test. Intense exercise can be defined as a heavy weight lifting session in the gym or a CrossFit type of workout. Workouts like spinning, running, and HIIT though, will not affect the next day's tests. They should breathe as normal as possible and not alter their breathing patterns when being tested. Water before a test is of course allowed. To have your PNOE unit prepared, make sure to charge your unit for at least 3 hours before the time of the scheduled test. The unit should be on, with the green light on, but more importantly the yellow light should be blinking. The flow sensor should be disconnected from the PNOE unit when charging. This will ensure your PNOE unit is fully charged and warmed up in preparation of a test, so feel free to charge the unit overnight before the scheduled testing day. If you have many scheduled tests, it is acceptable to leave it powered on and charging for even 2 to 3 days straight, but this should generally be avoided, as it will decrease the internal battery's life. If you ever notice that the green light is on, but the yellow light is not blinking, you should perform a hard reset. To perform a hard reset, press and hold the power button down until the green light turns off, and once it turns back on, release the power button. The yellow light will then begin blinking after 10 seconds or so. In order to warm up the flow sensor, power the PNOE unit off. Then connect the 2 cables of the flow sensor, and then power the PNOE unit back on. Allow the flow sensor to warm up for 10 minutes before initiating the test. When conducting a test, always have the PNOE unit connected to the power bank that was provided in your kit. It is key to check that the power bank is turned on by checking the lights on the side of it. After all this, it is time to mount the PNOE unit to the vest. To do this, first place the power bank in the pouch. Next, you will place the PNOE unit in the knapsack and pull the drawstring to secure it in place. After the unit has been secured in the vest, navigate to the PNOE device app and input your credentials to log in. Select Begin New Test and then click on the plus symbol at the bottom of the screen, as you will need to create a customer profile for the subject you will be testing. Simply input their email address in the field, and they will receive an email from us with a questionnaire they must complete. After doing so, refresh the PNOE device app, and you will see their customer profile appear. After selecting the customer profile, you will then be taken to another page in the app to be able to select the protocol that you would like to perform. They are custom-made protocols that are catered for anyone to do a PNOE test, so please make sure to select the correct protocol based on the testing subject's fitness levels and training background. If performing a resting metabolic rate test, make sure to select the RMR protocol. This protocol can be used by anyone regardless of their fitness and training background or gender. If you are going to be performing an active test though, please take into consideration the testing subject's fitness level. Our custom-made protocols are defined by the difficulty of them and are gender-based depending on the cardio equipment you will be using for the test. Once the protocol has been selected, you will need to pair your devices, so make sure that the subject is wearing the polar heart rate monitor and adjusted to them correctly. Once pairing has been completed, you will be prompted to perform a calibration. To perform an ambient air calibration, you should either perform them outdoors or next to an open window or doorway to outdoor air. If the facility has good ventilation though, the calibration can be done indoors. Please make sure that the sampling line, the black silicone tube of the flow sensor, is not connected to the mask adapter when performing a calibration in order to sample ambient air. Make sure to perform 2 consecutive ambient air calibrations prior to the test. The other method to perform a calibration is with a gas cylinder. To perform a gas cylinder calibration, you will input the exact values of the O2 and CO2 values stated on the spec sheet that arrived with your gas cylinder in the fields asked by the app. From here, you will connect the gas line from your gas cylinder to the T connector on the one end. Then you will connect the sampling line of the flow sensor to the T connector's side port. After, you will turn the valve on your gas cylinder to charge its gas line, and perform the calibration. Even with a gas cylinder calibration, make sure to perform 2 consecutive calibrations prior to the test. Once the PNOE unit has been calibrated twice, it is time to connect the flow sensor to the mask. There are 2 different sized masks in your kit, one is a small medium and the other is a medium large. You can see this on the right-hand side of the mask if you were to be wearing it, on the black nose area. After choosing the correct mask size for the subject, there are 2 ways you can connect the flow sensor to the mask, one being the standalone mask adapter setup, where you do not use an antibacterial viral filter. The other setup is using an antibacterial viral filter. Make sure to only connect the end of the flow sensor that has the seal ring to the mask adapter. For a treadmill test, it might be better to use the standalone mask adapter setup. It is important to remember though, if the antibacterial viral filter is not used, both the mask and the flow sensor must be sanitized after every test. In order to fit the backpack on your testing subject, help pass their arms through the straps of the backpack. After, make sure to clip the 2 straps, one which is on the upper chest, and the other on the upper abdomen so that the backpack is secured on the testing subject. After the flow sensor has been connected to the mask with the setup you chose, it is time to fit the mask on the subject that will be tested. Make sure the black strap goes on the back of the neck, running underneath the ears. Have the subject hold the mask on their face, grab the blue head harness and place it on the crown of their head. From here, have them make readjustments so it fits comfortably, and retighten the mask by pulling the straps by their ears down and out. Since the mask has been fitted, it is time to perform a seal check to see if there are any leakages coming from the mask. In order to do this, block the flow sensor with the palm of the hand, and ask the subject to steadily exhale to see if they feel any leakages. If no leakages are felt, you are all set to proceed with the measurement. If you are performing an RMR test though, it is not necessary for the testing subject to be wearing the backpack and can be placed besides them. Click on Continue and then Start at the top of the screen. The testing subject should remain still and breathe as normal as possible for the calibration check. You will be notified once the calibration check is completed and will be given the option to proceed with the protocol that was selected. Regardless of the protocol that was selected, the setup of the device is the same, whether it be a resting metabolic rate test or an active test. Just make sure to request for the service that you are interested upon the test's completion. After the request was made in the app, you should dispose the antibacterial viral filter, and thoroughly wipe down the mask and mask adapters with antibacterial viral wipes. Following the aforementioned instructions will guarantee that you will have the most accurate results in all of your metabolic testing.